please welcome Ms. Verena Siow. Ms. Siow is the President and Managing Director of SAP Southeast Asia. In this role, her responsibilities include orchestrating the sustainable growth of SAP in the region across 4,000 employees. And she is the first woman to hold this title. Well, we're lucky then to have Ms. Verena Siow with us here from a large corporation, SAP. Obviously, scalability is difficult for all the reasons that you mentioned, and one of them being that standardization is hard to come by. Perhaps, Ms. Siow, we can turn this question to you. How can a large corporation like SAP really offer partnerships or even purchases to community-based enterprises to help them become competitive in the global marketplace?
Sure. So first of all, thank you so much to the organizers and to all the social enterprises for having us here today. SAP Enduring's mission is really to help the world run better and improve people's life, and such a program, it's really so important to helping us achieve our mission. And also for me, right, being from ASEAN, contributing to the ASEAN communities that we are all part of. We are really committed to double down our efforts to support the communities, the local communities where we operate. And we believe such partnerships between the public, the private, and plural partnerships are really important to develop ASEAN economies and for sustainable reasons, and also to drive inclusive growth. I think that's a big topic that we come across in ASEAN, and regarding the areas that corporates like SAP can help, I would categorize them in 3 areas, right? Firstly is around social procurement, and I'll share a little bit more about this shortly. Number 2 is around enabling social enterprises. How do we enable them, right, in different skills, in new skills? And third is around accelerating social enterprises, around mentoring, some of this pro bono consulting that we are doing. So sharing a little bit on these 3 areas. On social procurement, SAP have actually announced a 5 by 5 by 25 initiative last year, whereby we are targeting to achieve 5% of our addressable spend with social enterprises and diverse businesses by 2025. So this will drive and promote greater inclusion of social entrepreneurship in the global economy. So for SAP perspective, this means that we could procure up to 50 million euros of our global spend to social and divert this social procurement at a global level. So this would help, and we are also working through with a lot of our customers that have similar initiatives that they're working through in countries across Southeast Asia. We also have one of the largest, if not the largest, business-to-business marketplace called Ariba Network, which supports nearly $3.5 trillion in transactions each year. In Southeast Asia, this would translate to approximately around 25 billion. And we are opening up this network to connect not just large enterprises, but those social enterprises that are corporate ready, and giving them access to those demand globally. And every company in the industry needs to procure something, right? So if we get more social enterprises to be part of that network, then that will drive inclusivity, and also that is good for economic development in overall. So we encourage everyone to look into that. Secondly, around enabling of social enterprises. I think as we go through this kind of never normal circumstances with the pandemic, like for example, doing this whole fellowship virtually, that typically we would have actually done it in person. This has enabled us to enhance and to partner with organizations like the Aspen Network of Development Entrepreneurs to promote digitization across Southeast Asia. I think moving forward, that's really important, and our industry experts have shared with more than 50 social enterprises and accelerators on how to leverage on technology to digitize the businesses through the ANDE digital learning lab sessions, and we share case studies, best practices on how to leverage on technology. And I love the example that Anya shared, and perhaps that's also a way technology can help to create a level playing field. Of course, we need the infrastructure to be in place as well. That's why we need that public, private and plural partnerships. And then leveraging on technology, while they may work from home for these waivers, they could also use it as a way to connect and network and share common challenges with others in similar situations and in doing the same thing. So that even so they don't really have to, because there's only you can't really spend a lot of time traveling to meet each other, right? Maybe you can do even a community event once or twice a year, depending on the scale of it. But leveraging on something like a digital platform would enable them to connect more frequently, the same way as what we are doing here. Thirdly is, and last but definitely not least, is really we believe, and SAP really truly believes in supporting and helping to accelerate social businesses. And for more than 5 years, we have actively supported more than 150 social businesses with close to 50,000 volunteering hours across ASEAN, with pro bono consulting, mentorships, and partnering on initiatives like ASEAN Wise. And we have a program, what we call the SAP Social Sabbatical Program, which we run globally since 2012, whereby the mentors take actually 2 to 4 weeks off to work with the social enterprises to solve their business challenges. And in fact, Angels of Impact is one of our clients this year. We're so happy about that. A great example is Javaria in Indonesia, which is focused on creating rural business opportunities for indigenous farmers. So as the business grew, their operational challenges also grew. And in 2016, we had 3 SAP colleagues who were assigned to look in some of the challenges that they were facing with their sales and distribution as a business grew, with practical recommendations, and especially around supply chain and inventory management. My colleagues were able to provide an outside-in perspective and brought that level of expertise to help them resolve some of the challenges they were facing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. You brought up so many good points. And yes, I have to say on behalf of the Angels of Impact team, we're really grateful that so many skill-based volunteers from SAP were able to support the ASEAN Wise Fellowship this year. In terms of digitalization, many of our community-based enterprises have benefited from the work that the volunteers have done with them in terms of opening up new sales channels online and turning to digital outlets. So thank you again. Ms. Siow, you talked earlier about digitalization and the power of technology. And of course, we have, as mentioned before, several SAP volunteers as part of the program. But we also recognize that there can be a significant digital divide between, let's say, what some of the skill-based volunteers in SAP can provide and kind of what the infrastructure allows for in some of these areas where our community-based enterprises are based. So I'm wondering, from your perspective at SAP or even for other larger corporations, what can you or they learn from community-based enterprises, specifically those that are in the creative economy?
That's a really good question, and I can think of 3 areas where we can or large corporations like SAP can learn from. First is really to understand the impact of social enterprises on the communities that we are all part of, and to be more purpose-driven, right? We have learned that many employees, when they join SAP or any other organization, it's not just to earn a living, and have work, but it's really more important these days. We find more and more employees looking for meaningful work. So when we take part in a program such as what we have here with WISE, this enables SAP and our employees to really contribute, to be more purpose-driven. And that's really important to also to understand what is it like in a very different perspective. So that allows us, I think that has great contribution and also improve our understanding and also connect with the local communities that we are part of. And like I mentioned earlier at SAP, our purpose is to help the world run better and improve people's life. And this is something that really enables us to act on it. Secondly, we have heard so many wonderful stories of how relationships have been built between the SAP mentors and the social enterprises through pro bono work. And these relationships quite often last beyond the fellowship or the program that is in place. I like to share some feedback we have from one of the co-founders of Kasuma Indonesia that left a really glowing testimonial for her wise mentor, one of my colleagues, May, and shared that her extensive knowledge and research provides input in a both a friendly and engaging way for their business, and they really enjoy discussing it and also as if they are discussing with friends. So I think that has value both ways. Mentorship is also a two-way relationship. So that is a fulfilling and valuable experience both for the social enterprises as well as for the SAP mentors. Third is that, and this is really important, that in SAP we typically in our usual work environment we deal with similarly large enterprise, right? Even the smaller enterprises come with certain infrastructure in place already. However, when we engage with social enterprises, this allows our employees to take the skills that they have learned, they have gained over years, and think about how they apply it in the social enterprises that they work with. They are more in a rural setting, like the rural artisans, for example. This also enables them to refine and the skills and be more adaptable to different environments. And that I think has huge benefit to SAP employees.
Absolutely, thank you. That transferability has been really key
Absolutely.
throughout. Yeah. In fact, I see Anya nodding because I've had the privilege of working with Anya and another SAP volunteer, Allison. Hi, Allison, if you're watching online. Every week for the past 7 months or so, and it has absolutely been, like you said, it's a call between friends almost, and we've learned so much from one another. How can social enterprises like the ones in the WISE Fellowship take advantage of SAP social procurement plans?
So that's a really good question. I would suggest to reach out to your mentor to discuss more about it. And ensure that you get yourself ready and enroll in the SAP Ariba network that I just mentioned.
Okay. And maybe as a follow-up to that, would handmade products be relevant for SAP social procurement plans?
I would say all products should be relevant in some way or fashion. So I would say that yes, definitely.
Wonderful. All right. Would any of you like any final words before we close? I want to be mindful that we're shifting into our next session. Don't be shy.
I would just like to say thank you so much for having us as part of the program. It is our pleasure, and we are really grateful to be able to contribute and work with all the social enterprises as part of it. We are looking forward to doing more together. So thank you so much, and appreciate all the feedback and stories. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Likewise.